Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out this video. I'm here with my friend Matt, who's talking about his 30-day full body group challenge. As someone who has worked out with Matt before.
Oh jeez, my arms are just tired. I'm weak, man.
I can tell you that he's legit.
I'm a personal trainer, a registered nurse, and a behavioral change specialist. I've been working on this program, the 30-day full body group challenge, for about 4 years. It's seeing fantastic results. What I do is I use mental fitness in a group aspect for training where you are with minimal equipment so you can attain your goals long term. I want to set you up to never need a personal trainer again. So click the link in the description below.
Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining us again for another video. Today we are starting the much anticipated DCEU with Man of Steel. Now, some people are wondering what we're gonna do about WandaVision. We are gonna postpone it temporarily until the next time we shoot. So it'll probably be right at the end of WandaVision. We'll watch episode 6, 7, 8, and 9. In the meantime though, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, or the original Justice League cut, because people get really upset if I say there's a difference. The original intended film of Justice League is coming out in March, so we should be able to get to that point pretty soon. Today we're doing Man of Steel. It's the Superman reboot. To paint the picture of the time, this was in 2013. The Dark Knight Rises had just come out the year prior, concluded the original Dark Knight Batman trilogy. The Avengers movie had just come out in 2012 as well. They had their big cinematic universe. Warner Brothers and DC wants to start getting involved in that. So they start with their origin movie to kick off their universe with Man of Steel. People at the time really loved that dark and gritty Batman feeling. We get a little bit of that in Man of Steel, and we'll talk a little bit more about that kind of a little bit later. Going into it, guys, how are y'all feeling? Jeremy?
Look, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a fan of it then, and I don't know that I'm gonna be a fan of it now. I will say, on the positive side, Henry Cavill is like fantastic casting as Superman. He looks perfect in the freaking suit. I like his take on it. You know, we couldn't do Christopher Reeve's Superman these days, so I appreciate that they, you know, try to do something different. I'm actually really curious about what the people in the room that haven't seen it are going to think about it, because it's just quite a different experience from what people expect out of the MCU. So it might go over great, it might not, but we're gonna find out soon enough. So I'm looking forward to that.
Pastor, what about you, man? How are you feeling watching it? Wait, what?
I got a prediction of what Pastor is gonna say.
What?
Because I feel like I've gotten to know him well and watch me bomb this. He's gonna love it. He thinks it was totally like revolutionary at the time, especially when Batman was coming out. It was the only competition, and he absolutely loved it.
Actually, a pretty good guess, but I wish it was 100% correct. Anyways, so first memory of this movie, whenever I see it, whenever I see advertisement for it on the DVD racks, whatever, is when we were working at the hospital, and we rushed to get in there because the trailer was gonna drop, and it's like 2 in the morning, and all I remember is that scene in the trailer where he put the fist is on the ground, and like the rocks start to swivel, and you see the flight, and it's just a teaser, and we were like losing our minds about it. Of course, what Matt said, it did piggyback or come right after the success of Batman, so we're like, well, the next best thing is giving everyone else DC's, you know, Captain America. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, like most of the movies we do in this series, but I enjoyed it a lot when I first watched it, and then I think there was a time afterwards where I was like, you know what, it wasn't that great. Maybe it was the theater experience. I couldn't remember what it was. But I agree with Jeremy 100%. Henry Cavill was a great choice. I think he was the very first non-American Superman that was cast. Before that, they were all American because Superman is, you know. I think the suit was really good. The guy that played Zod, he's like always a bad guy, which I was like, ha, this guy. I think it was pretty good, and I'm actually anxious to see what Matt thinks, because talking on the lives and stuff, Matt has always been drawn more towards the DC side, being a big Batman fan like myself. So this is the next logical step. Let's see what happens.
Also, Matt has seen Superman 1 and 2 on this channel. We did a review back in the day. It was more when I was more focused on doing reviews of the movie. So I think in Superman 1 or 2, I just showed clips of the movie. Back when I was like, I'm just showing clips to refresh the audience's memory. So people are like, why is there no reaction? And just clips.
Roasted in the comments.
Oh yeah, they hated me for that. Anyway, that was a long time ago. So Matt is familiar, at least to some degree, with Christopher Reeve's Superman 1 and 2. Going into it, Prime, how do you feel about Man of Steel? Without spoilers or anything.
I don't like Superman. Contrary to popular belief.
Really?
Oh, are you being serious?
I'm actually being serious. No, I didn't like Superman. He's too OP. I feel like anyone I talk to, well, can he do this? There's some form in some comic that he can do that. You look up, his only weaknesses are kryptonite and magic. It's like, so I do a card trick and he dies. Like, I just didn't understand it.
Watch out, bastards in town.
I was always a Batman fan, never a Superman fan. I'd seen the other Superman movies, and I'm just not into them. Come up to this movie, Man of Steel, and I'm like, well, okay, yeah. Just like Pastor said after the popularity of the Christopher Nolan Batman series, I'm like, well, okay, let's give it another shot. I've seen this movie more times than I can count. Absolutely loved it. It could have been how Henry Cavill came to play it. Gave me a little bit more understanding of the character. I think this movie did a good job on that.
So Jen and I, we just started the MCU last week. She's only seen Iron Man 1. So we're going to coincide watching the MCU and the DCU at the same time with Jen. So this has nothing to do with any of the Marvel movies we are ever going to watch. It's its own thing. This is the start of the DC movies. Superman, you know Superman, everyone knows Superman. How are you feeling going into Man of Steel?
I mean, I feel like I know the basic storyline of Superman, but I have never seen any Superman movie. I'm familiar with Christopher Reeve, but I really don't know a lot. I actually this morning, Holden was like, yeah, we're gonna watch Man of Steel. I was like, well, I thought you said that we were watching the Superman movie. So I really just don't know that much, but I will say that my idea of a superhero, the first thing I think of is Superman. So that's kind of why when we were discussing the other day, like the Hulk, I was kind of like, not my idea of superhero. Definitely Superman is who I think of, but like I said, I really don't know a lot about it. It'll be interesting to see this movie.
Did y'all make it to Hulk, the first movie?
We have not seen Hulk yet, as of recording this. I know we watch a lot of superhero movies on this channel with Matt. Seen the original Superman movies. I don't recall if you liked them or not. I thought that you did.
I believe generally I did like it, yeah.
How are you feeling going into 2013's Man of Steel?
Can we finally, you at home, along with me, can we get a clap for finally making it to the DCEU? Like, I'm actually fired up to do the DCEU. At the time of recording this, we're taking a break from WandaVision, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm itching to get into the DCEU. I want that dark, gritty side. Give me what you got. This is the only comparison I think that there really is to the MCU. MCU, if you don't know, ranks stupid high on my list, which I never thought I'd say. I want to see what this other world is. I'm excited.
So we get tons of requests of people like, hey, we want you to watch this, watch that, watch this series and everything. And the truth is, we just don't have time, partly because Matt still works a full-time job.
Working on less of that soon.
We ran the numbers. He only needs 8 more people in his 30-day full-body workout to join him for Zoom calls, help get back in shape, so that he could be independent. So if you're on the fence about it and you're like, you know what, it's 2021, I need to start getting back in shape, go join Matt's program. So not only will you get back in shape, but it'll give us the freedom to make more content.
That was a plug that I did not know was coming. Jesus. Keep going.
Anyway, so that way you can look like the Man of Steel yourself. Let's get into it, guys. 2013's Man of Steel.
Good.
Okay.
I like how our hands look like they're like this, and, you know,
Oh, jeez.
the WandaVision video.
Sir, is everything all right?
Out of the way.
Best Alexa ever.
Lara, you have to ready the launch. I'll be with you as soon as I can.
Powerful music.
Hans Zimmer, my guy.
Very nice. Whee!
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing right now?
By the authority of General Zod, surrender the Codex.
Whee! Much more like Lord of the Rings / Star Wars / Harry Potter than I expected. Yeah, so Kryptonite, and they named the planet Krypton?
Other way around. We'll get into Kryptonite later.
All right.
We have.
Young star. His cells will drink its radiation.
Here we go.
All right. Got a baby dick? It's kind of weird.
Well, they had a baby dick in the first Superman too, so it's got to be really awkward to film something like that.
Yep.
Oh, you guys are the parents of the kid we're going to use for the movie? All right, we're going to get a nice, I want this in IMAX.
All right, can we get that macro lens on that dick?
Some dreams travel with you.
What is wrong with us?
Then the U.S. military comes in.
General, we have identified an engine ignition within the Citadel.
Austin.
What have you done?
We have had a child, Zod. Krypton's first natural birth in centuries. Free to forge his own destiny.
Heresy.
Oh! Jean Valjean.
So these cats were trying to stop baby Superman from leaving.
You won't kill us yourself, but you'll damn us to a black hole for eternity. I will find him!
That legit looks like a...
Reminds me of How I Met Your Mother, when he's like, that's a penis.
Powerful music. Powerful. Yeah. I mean, you could have tried the whole CPR thing on...
Well, I mean, look what's happening.
It's fine, I know, it's fine.
Right about now.
Jesus, dude. So far, this is absolutely gorgeous to look at.
Good visuals.
Meanwhile, in the U.S. Navy.
Forget them. They're dead.
Austin.
Greenhorn.
Wait, what?
Jeez.
Nice.
He's actually really struggling. I'm surprised.
Look at the detail.
I like that it like comes gradually. Why do we have
The
all these
whole
kids?
class?
We don't need to bring the whole class here.
Oh my God, Brightburn.
Focus on my voice.
Picture an island.
Yeah.
There it is.
Damn, bruh.
I'm telling you, it's a bunch of circles.
Dick splash.
Lawsuit, lawsuit, lawsuit! What are y'all doing? There's not seat belts in buses. Let's go.
Dun, 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 dun.
He was in the bus. He saw what Clark did.
Sure what he thought he saw
Was an act of God, Jonathan.
Oh, Kansas, right.
God, hold it.
Clark, you have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
Suppress your emotions. Push it
What are
down.
you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Just let him die?
It's a really good question, Dad. What do you have to say about that?
Maybe.
Jeez.
Gee, good God.
That's my biggest issue with this relationship. Aw.
People are afraid of what they don't understand.
True. Very true.
Is she right?
Didn't even exist on the periodic table.
It's like an Apple product.
It's another way to the answer to are we alone in the universe?
I don't
want
know.
to be. Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son.
Struggle of morality and wanting to be normal.
There's a lot of Jesus parallels that people make to Superman.
Knock it off.
Oh, Kansas, right, I forget.
What? Tough guy? There he is.
What? What up?
I was about to say, even without knowing he's Superman.
Don't forget your tip.
Where the hell are you going?
Yep, sure. Just scale on the side of glaciers. Got it.
Lois Lane in the
Well,
comics
yeah,
is
very
she does stuff
quintessential
like that.
Lois
I'm just gonna walk over here. Where'd I go?
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
The Pentagon is denying that there was a ship.
Of course they are. That's what they're supposed to do. It's the Pentagon.
Who are you? I am your father, Cal. You came from Krypton. We built outposts on other planets, using great machines to reshape environments to our needs. Every child was designed to fulfill a predetermined role in our society. What if a child dreamed of becoming something other than what society had intended for him or her?
Oh, shit.
A dream your mother and I dedicated our lives to preserve.
Oh, yeah.
People of Earth are different from us, it's true. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did. Not if you give them hope.
They're great people, Kal-El. They wish to be.
Within that hope is the fundamental belief in the potential of every person to be a force for good. That's what you
Good stuff, yeah.
Oh. Goosebump City, man.
Oh, you just wait right here.
God.
Yes.
Like the sound barrier.
Just seeing modern day effects to show how powerful he is, you know. Yeah. I think this is an homage to Superman in the 1970s.
I figured if I turned over enough stones, you'd eventually find me.
The only way you could disappear for good is to stop helping people altogether, and I sense that's not an option for you.
You're not my dad. You're just some guy who found me in a field.
Jeez.
Clark!
Feeling 25-year-old teenager.
Go for the overpass!
No, Dad, you know I can stop this.
Oh, yeah.
Get your mom to the overpass.
Dad, I really should be the one to... Okay, all right. Go, dude.
Just let me die.
Bruh. It'll be all right. Oh!
Can you imagine how people on this planet would react?
The ship appears to have inserted itself into a lunar synchronous orbit.
Oh, he also has zoom vision, I guess, too.
Aliens got Google Translate.
Could you see Zod, like, putting together this little production? Like, I really like how he's an intelligent, like, really smart kid, too. Aw.
I don't know where to start. Ship that appeared last night. The one they're looking for.
Oh, that's a lot to put on me. Okay. Yeah.
Very symbolic. I can save Earth by turning this.
What's in the background? What?
That's when Jesus is, right before he is crucified, he's praying.
Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith first.
Oof.
All right. You've got our attention.
I'll surrender. But only if you guarantee Lois's freedom.
He kind of talks like Christopher Reeve as Superman there.
What's the S stand for?
Suck it up.
Put our cards on the table here, General.
Scared of me because you can't control me. That doesn't mean I'm your enemy. Who is Zod?
Is this Casino now?
Good reference. You're doing more movie references lately, Matt. I'm really enjoying them.
On behalf of General Zod, I extend you his greetings. General Zod would like this woman to accompany me. Shall I tell the General you're unwilling to comply?
I don't care what you tell him.
Hello. I have no idea how long we've been searching for you.
What's happening to him?
He's rejecting our ship's atmospherics.
Oh, that's what
Krypton lives again. What happens to Earth?
The Foundation has to be built on something.
Terminator.
I have a duty to my people.
I designed the ship. I could modify its atmospheric composition to human compatibility.
There we go.
You could be the bridge between two peoples.
Jesus being the bridge between mankind and God.
There you go.
You can save all of them.
Literally Jesus.
God.
See that? Arms out, cross.
Little Light Studios. Bail, bail, bail.
The craft he arrived in. Where is it?
Where is the codex?
Oh! He's gonna let Vegeta and Nappa take him on.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Always wins. The bad guys saying talking about evolution.
I don't know if that's purple.
This man is not our enemy.
Release the world engine.
Maybe you can do the old flying the opposite way of the Earth and then turn time back. Thanos?
Lens flares.
Lens flares!
Lens flares. Lens flares. Lens flares. It doesn't actually bother me.
Lightning One, you're clear to engage.
Think that was practical? Oh my God! Superman, good job.
Like, what do you... All right, well, this is it.
Yeah.
Why would you run that way instead of...
Run to the left!
My son.
It's up to you and Hamilton now.
Hamilton. Alexander.
What are you doing, Clark?
Just getting that getting his cells recharged.
You destroyed Krypton!
I don't want to do that.
Krypton had its chance!
A good death is its own reward.
There's a gravitational pull to it. Yeah.
Pulling him in as well.
Yep.
Probably people that could probably immediately need help right now.
God.
It's a good shot. I like that.
My soul, that is what you have taken from me.
Still, people dying.
Building falling over sideways.
There's only one way this ends, Cal. Either you die or I do.
Yeah, that's good.
Where did you train? On a farm?
It ain't the gym, it's what you do with the gym.
It's time for a Dragon Ball movie, that's all I'm saying. Realistically though, kill him. Tom can't even call to see if his friends are alive. Transformers?
What if he literally killed him by choking him?
If you love these people so much, you can mourn for them.
Yeah, exactly. You got laser eyes.
Don't do this!
Kryptonian's weakness, I guess, is also breaking their neck, I suppose. What a week, huh?
Are you effing stupid? That's a $12 million piece of hardware.
It was.
How do we know you won't one day act against America's interests?
I don't know, General. I guess I'll just have to trust you.
What are you smiling about, Captain?
Nothing, sir. I just think he's kind of hot.
Why would he have a cape on? Were there other superheroes at the time?
What are you going to do when you're not saving the world? Have you given any thought to that?
I have, actually.
Finally. Can't do it. I can't do it. I'm about to pee on myself. Oh my God. And Devin, here comes the urination audio.
I'm out.
Just finished Man of Steel. There's a lot I like about this movie, some things I wasn't super crazy about. I'd like to start off with Jeremy, actually, what he had thought about it. Jeremy.
Here we go. I know I'm gonna get a lot of grief for this because, like Holden said, there are things that I definitely like about this movie. More of it, it's so exposition heavy, right? Like that's one of the big things about it that weighs it down to me. When you start talking about magical MacGuffins, whether it be the Tesseract or the Codex or like whatever the thing is specific to that movie, it almost just, it starts to go in one ear and out the other. A lot of the philosophical stuff I actually like though. Like I like the difference in parenting approaches between Jor-El and his father, Pa Kent, I don't remember what his name is, Jonathan. But yeah, Jonathan Kent. So I like the fact that they've modernized it. It's a post 9/11 Superman movie. It needed an update. It needed to be a little bit more cynical because Superman's kind of a Boy Scout. It's a beautiful looking movie, but when you've got a 45-minute fight sequence at the end between two characters that are impervious to damage, there's almost no stakes. You're supposed to, at that point, care about the people on the ground, the human characters that ground this whole story. How many millions of people freaking died at the end of this movie, but we're supposed to care about the main characters, the ones that are in Clark's life, and I feel like that kind of ties to the parent Kents. Like, they don't care about whether or not Clark saves the world, they care about protecting their son, and I kind of can buy into that. I like that it's an ideological difference from the Jor-El and his whole idea of he's gonna be a savior. So, there's some interesting themes and ideas in it. Like I said, it's a great looking movie. It's hard not to tune out for like the last 45 minutes of it. That's kind of my take on it. So, what are you gonna do?
Pastor, what about you, man?
I still feel the same way that I did the first time I watched it. I think, not that there's anything wrong with movies being over 2 hours, because there are many of them like the MCU, over 2 hours. This movie felt every bit of the 2 hours and 23-minute runtime. Like Jeremy said, the fight scene was kind of like we all knew how it was going to end. Even Matt at one point was like, wait, what? It's like super cliche. I think they redid a lot of the same shots. Like, I feel like in this movie, like maybe I forgot the name of the woman who played Martha Kent, but like they must have asked her like 40 times, hey, we need you to just like look up from gardening at like something in the horizon. Because like every 30 seconds you just see her looking up from like a garden or from like washing the dishes or from something. It was just so repetitive and there was nothing to show for it. There was no like, oh, this is a necessity, you know, because someone's about to die or someone's about to whatever. Jonathan Kent was very much the opposite of like Uncle Ben, which was a little weird for me because this is, I think, the movie that you get to see the most of like Jonathan Kent, or the Kent in general, really. And the mom really didn't have much of a role except for that line that didn't fall very heavy. It was pretty flat that she had with him in school and trying to talk him off the ledge kind of deal. The movie had a lot of potential and it did a lot of things right. Like Superman looked amazing, the visuals were amazing, the score, all that stuff that goes without say. But the movie, for as long as it was, it just seemed like it had a lot of air in it. I'll still watch it, but it's not one of those movies that I'll sit there and go, oh man, I'm ready for 2.5 hours of this. So that's just how I feel about watching it now anyway.
I don't mind like the long fight sequences. Just as a general rule of thumb, I mean, I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Z. You know, it's like the king of long fight sequences. I think the thing about this is a lot of the rinse and repeat as far as close-up shot, punch, fly through building, fly back. A lot of rinse and repeat of that. So I feel like if maybe they, I don't want to say were more creative, but if they just did different things, the kind of that camera far away, digital zooms going on, showing people what's going on. So I think if there was a little bit more ingenuity in that terms, having these two godlike beings fight one another, I feel like that's one of the reasons for me it kind of dragged on for a while. Kind of to Jeremy's point about wanting to care about the characters. That's why I think having Superman fight this, not sentient claw, but just this claw for, you know, a good 15 minutes, I'm just like, I don't care about that. To Pastor's point about Jonathan Kent being the opposite of Uncle Ben, I feel that in my soul. It was one of the things I remember when I first watched it, what I really didn't like about it, this notion of, should I have let those children die on the bus? I feel like the obvious answer is, of course not. You know, if you can, like Uncle Ben said in Amazing Spider-Man, so when you have the ability to help somebody, it is your responsibility to do that thing. But the thing about Jonathan Kent is that he also was kind of going back and forth on it. So I never really liked Jonathan Kent in this. I thought him telling Superman, don't save me right now, I thought that was stupid. Personally, that's just my opinion. I kind of got over some of the handheld parts. I think it works in certain scenes. It doesn't work so much in other scenes. And I feel like, you know, when they're having these conversations like out in the desert, it doesn't need to be, you know, shaky when they're just having this one-on-one conversation. Prime, what did you think, man?
There's something like you mentioned, I can't hate this movie. I just love it too much, bringing me in, and not being a fan of Superman before watching it. I could see where they were trying to get that feeling of Clark Kent not knowing who he is and being lost. And I've seen that's where the writing just kind of falls flat. Like we've talked about, the back and forth of he's got these abilities, should he use them? No, he shouldn't, because he doesn't want to be out in front of everyone because he's an alien, right? So I could see hints of where they were trying to go with that, but yeah, I just feel like the writing fell through with that. And then when you start with the whole prologue, explains his entire background. I know people have talked about this too, is that disconnect with feeling lost with Clark Kent and him trying to figure out who he is, because we already know. The whole beginning of the movie is telling us that. And so we can't really get the feeling of where he is, and when he finally meets who his father is and who he is and what he's quote unquote destined to be. So yeah, the writing I feel like is what is the biggest issue with this, and the storytelling throughout. But visually I love the movie, and I still get the feelings that they were trying to portray in it.
Yeah. There was a lot of good in this, and then a lot of kind of I don't know if they hit the mark on that, which is sort of how I feel about pretty much all the DC movies. You know, I feel like there's a lot of good, but also okay. Anyway, one thing we haven't talked about is Superman killing Zod. That was kind of, I remember that being a source of controversy back in the day, him like snapping his neck and whatnot. But maybe we'll get into that in a minute. Jen, we mentioned this before, has only seen Iron Man as of filming this for the MCU, so this is one of the few superhero movies that we've gotten into. What did you think of Man of Steel?
For it being kind of the first type of material for Superman, visually I thought it was beautiful. I like just throughout the movie there was all these different types of scenes where I was just like, wow, I would have never thought that they would have gone that route, but it ended up turning out really good. Some of the things that I didn't like was it was so heavy on the flashbacks. I don't mind like 1 or 2 or 3 being sprinkled throughout, but I felt like I was just on a carnival ride, just constantly being spun around, and it was a little too much as far as the flashbacks. The science fiction material was a lot heavier than I thought it was gonna be.
My girl.
It was Superman, that's just not where my brain went. Especially the first like 25 minutes of the movie. There was so much of it that I was like, am I watching the wrong movie? Like it was very strange. It was so much information to absorb. But normally I feel like I'm able to follow them pretty well, but this movie, it dragged on. Like 2.5 hours for a movie. I feel like you can have a really good movie and then ruin it from it being too long or extending the fight scenes, which definitely was the case here. This one kind of fell flat. When they first started off doing them, I was like, oh, that's great. I enjoyed it, but then it was just the same type of thing. It was being dragged on. What's his name? Zod. That was a huge letdown. I thought it was gonna be a lot more, you know, earth-shaking, and it wasn't. But I enjoyed it. I thought that it was a really good introduction to Superman. I would be very interested to see the older movies with Christopher Reeve, just to see the difference. Number one thing that I loved about the movie was visually. It was so pretty. I loved it. There were some other things that I just didn't really enjoy.
You know, I literally just realized that we didn't rate Iron Man when we did it. I feel like we've been slacking on rating movies recently.
That you remember that now.
Professional YouTuber right here.
That's right. Matt, as the friend of my friend watching Man of Steel, being familiar with the original Superman 1 and Superman 2, what did you think of this?
So, I think it was pretty good, actually. It was pretty good. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. First of all, Hans Zimmer, just
great,
incredible score. Just so great. Like y'all said, looks gorgeous. Love that. Bygone Jim moment was great. People are afraid of what they don't understand. That's a very simple line, but very, very accurate, and can be, I think, injected into a lot of situations where what we don't understand, we truly fear. The fear of unknowing. And I like that they put that in there. I like also in the very beginning where Real Dad was basically like, you know, the concept of how, you know, what if children could make their own decisions about their own dreams, and I was just like, I love that. That was really good stuff. And how he also touched on, you know, the S basically represents the good that everyone has the possibility to be. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
There was the philosophical implication of Jor-El talking that everybody has the capacity for good, as it was said in the original Superman. I agree with that too.
Maybe this one just hit different than the original one, but then. Yeah. Holden touched on this about how Dad hopped out during that gigantic tornado to save everybody, and his death was just so cinematic. It's so unrealistic, I feel, in the way of like, he's like, no. For like 14 minutes what it felt like. He was like, I'm good. He's like eating a sandwich. Like, I'm just gonna die, it's fine. And not only that, but like, it's not right or wrong, but that simple decision for Superman to be like, Dad, all right, you know what, kiss my ass, I'm Superman, I'm gonna save you right quick. I don't know, that's weird. I do understand the concept of how, you know, Superman was struggling with that, what do I do? I actually appreciate, I don't agree with, but I appreciate that there was a different narrative from his non-biological father, and how he was like, you know what, yeah, maybe you should let those kids die. I'm not saying that I like that aspect, I'm saying that I like that that's different, that they did go the opposite direction, because that forces Superman to make his own decisions. Does he follow that herd or that mentality of what he's been brought up to do, believe, or does he make his own decisions? I think for a lot of people, our own surroundings tell us a lot of what we should do, and it's up to you to decide what is right. And I'm not saying that it is right or wrong, whatever he did decide. Ultimately, I think if we had the possibility of some superhuman, I think we'd be fortunate to have it, but that superhuman doesn't have to be here. So how much death is too much death to say that, oh no, Superman won? And I question that because of how many that probably died with all these falling buildings and explosions and debris and just all of that. It's like, where do you weigh that scale of like, man, it really sucks, we lost 20 people?
Actually, great questions you're asking.
Yeah, like, is 20 lives, is one life as heavy as 400,000 people dying? I think we want to say one death is too much. But if you have a pile of bodies, 400,000 compared to 20, there's a little more gravity when you see that 400,000, unfortunately. How do you weigh that? I don't know. My question is this: was Superman holding back this entire time? And I can't point a finger at Superman to say, you should have done this, because again, I think we're fortunate to have a superhuman or an alien that's gonna save us in this world. But was he holding back if he has these laser eyes and if he can snap Homeboy's neck with just that quickly? I mean, I got the sense at times that he was holding himself back due to this morality. So was he struggling with this morality the whole time? It didn't make any sense at times to me.
I'll give my opinion on that. I felt like at the end he was not holding back. I get he has laser eyes, but I don't think that they would probably be as effective maybe as you think they might have been against another Kryptonian. As far as snapping his neck, he was able to just get kind of a vantage point on Zod in order to do that. But that's just my thoughts. I don't think near the end when they were trading blows in the city that Superman was holding back at that point. What do y'all think?
I was thinking about the how do you weigh the death thing. That was the whole moral dilemma, because 7 billion people on planet Earth was what the full cost of life would be, versus the Codex holding the entire future of a new Krypton that they were going to create. So he had already destroyed the Codex at that point, killing the future of a new Krypton. And that's what Zod was not holding back then after that moment, because now he feels like all of Earth would have to die. So that's however many hundreds of thousands in the city died. Superman was looking at the end goal and trying to protect the billions of others that would eventually perish had Zod succeeded.
Was he holding back? I think that, like Holden said, towards the end, no. When they had that, what is it, the 30-minute fight where it was literally just him and Zod, no. Throughout what led up to that, yeah, he was probably trying to figure out a way to do it without eventually killing him. He wasn't pulling punches. He wasn't, if any abilities, like we didn't see him do the super breath thing, it's probably because he just didn't know he could do it.
So I fully disagree with you there, Pastor. So if we're talking about the whole greater good thing, like we want to save more lives than whatever, it was the moment that he saw that family about to get killed that he was like, that's it, you're dead. That's it, you're dead. Why not the rest of the people that were dying and falling out of buildings and all that? If we're talking about this greater good, less lives dying, should have killed Homeboy as soon as possible. There were many times where it felt very decisional to snap his neck.
I know what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think he was holding back his abilities.
You think it was more morality?
No, I just think he was giving it his all because he was in the moment. It showed his character development, if anything. And it's very hard to say because we do know that there's another movie, and we do know that retroactively in real life, the filmmakers can say, everyone's watching it and they're like, dude, this makes no sense. This movie was trash. And then they could redeem themselves with the sequel as far as the storyline goes. And because I know what happens after this, it's very easy to see it happen that way.
Jeremy said at the very beginning, extremely overpowering at times. It felt unnecessary, and it was very drug out, yes.
It's funny because we talk about all this death that's happening around. One of the things about making these super realistic superhero movies is that now we pay attention to that kind of thing. I feel like when, like in the original X-Men or like maybe in Blade, where it's a little bit more comic booky, cartoony, we don't care so much, but because they want to ground Superman in reality, we notice now. That was,
you see, that's always the view that I've had.
And fair enough.
Because I don't have that backstory.
Yeah, I remember at the time, back in 2013, 2014, people making jokes about that very thing, Superman saving all these people, but really he's killed 400,000 people in Metropolis, and that being a joke. And so the filmmakers took note of that. It becomes a part of the next film. Let's go ahead and do ratings real quick, if that's okay. I'll rate Superman. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot I like. I feel like this is a good superhero movie. I had issues with it, but overall good. I would probably give Man of Steel a 7 for me.
It's competently made. We've touched on the fact that Zack Snyder's a really good visual storyteller. I can't quite hit a 7, but I would feel weird about giving it anything lower than a 6. So I'm gonna go with a 6.
Man of Steel, what do I rate it? You took my score. Why? My reason why is because it's not, like I say, it's not unwatchable. 5 means I sat through the whole runtime. 6 means that it had good in it enough for me to go, you know what, I will recommend it to any group or any demographic that, you know, I think would like it. This movie is a 6 for me because of the problems that we all collectively had with it. I give this movie a 6 for those reasons. It was way too long. If it was maybe 30, 40 minutes shorter, I probably wouldn't feel as badly or as strong about how I didn't like it as I do now, and I'd probably give it like a 7, but a 6 is what I give it.
Due to, length and the way the plot rolled fell short, I'm gonna stick at 7.5.
Okay.
I don't think it was top tier, but I also, I enjoy it and I watch it over and over again, so.
I'm gonna have to go with a 6.5. There was a lot that I liked, but there was a lot that I didn't like, and I'm glad that I saw it, but I wouldn't watch it again, nor would I buy it.
Oh, we already own it.
Oh, well, not for long. Just kidding.
And Matt, what would you rate Man of Steel?
Again, I appreciate that they went the opposite direction of old dad raising him to be like, basically that piece of like almost just be selfish, work on your life. I get that sort of, I understand, but anyway, I give it a 6.5. I think it's good. Visually, it looks great, all that. And it at least raised questions, had a little bit of Bygone Jim moments in there. I've never owned it, probably never watch it again.
All right, that's it. Make sure you check out everyone's channel that's here. Links will be in the description below. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below letting us know what you think of Man of Steel and how you think we'll do on our journey through the DCEU. Consider joining me on Patreon to get early access to videos like this. As always, we appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care.